concerns the Montville and the sex offender project that is going to be built there.
Okay?
Go ahead.
People don't understand you can have a gay encounter and be charged with a sex crime and they're all different and not necessarily child molesters.
Okay.
And they are all coming out. And isn't it best to have some form of reentry? What is your position on this problem? Thank you.
Oh, this is.
That's
a loaded one, yeah.
Well, this is
That's
because of the
right.
Montville
Yeah.
stuff, okay? And everybody's talking about reentry. We got hammered with that. I think
Last
we
week
got
too.
last week
Last
too,
week as
right?
well.
I mean, my position, I don't know what
A
exactly.
lot of people, well, they don't want that facility built.
I don't think it should be built, of course, because I live in southeastern Connecticut. It should be built in southeastern Connecticut, whether it's Montville, New London, Groton, Norwich. You know, that's my position as far as that's concerned. Fairfield County would be a great place for it, you know? So there's my position, really, and because people have talked about that they'll be coming down on the bus route and,
Yeah,
when-
right, that's the.
you know, when you generalize, I'm not exactly certain, I'd be talking out of school exactly what type of person's going into the treatment facility. So I don't want to generalize.
It's
I know
not,
sex-
it's, no, the problem is, this is, okay, the more, I had to start investigating because of the question
yeah.
last week. We got bombed with that, and I didn't, okay? It's reentry. These folks are on their way out. So my understanding is the facility up there, they are doing their last 6 months, and they want to re-enter them, acclimate them to the community, and they're going to be escorted and everything else like that. And of course, my question becomes, they're coming out, what do you want to do?
Well,
Yeah.
here's what happens. New London is extremely affordable when you come out of prison. Actually, when you just come here, you could rent an apartment. There's several hundred in our city. You could join group home, and that's fine too. So New London's very affordable. I think that's what people are scared of, is that when they're released, they could come into New London
Yeah.
for a couple
Yeah.
$100, and here they are. So I think that's the people who do not want it here don't want that connection to the facility, because truthfully, when people, there are corrections people who tell me that people who are released from jail, they're given a transportation money, and that transportation money
Gets them to New London.
gets them to New London.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Amazing.
Sometimes they give them the transportation money and they pick up a train, but they never get on the train. They actually just stay in New London. So
I think some of the other concern there, I'm not really sure because I haven't looked at it, is I haven't heard a lot about what are the different levels of sex offenders, what kind of counseling is going to go on, what are the safeguards, how are they going to
Yeah,
integrate them in the
And that's
community.
what I don't
There's a
know.
big
Well,
difference.
I don't know either. We're
Yeah, there's
still
a big difference between a
investigating this.
50-year-old man who molests a child versus a 17-year-old who had sex with a 15-year-old because they were both in high school and that was
Yeah,
their
well,
girlfriend.
statutory rape.
Yeah, I'm not
It's-
saying
see,
either it's okay, but there's a big difference.
There's
There's a huge difference.
And you don't know, and that's
We
the
don't know
that's
what's
the
coming,
problem.
yeah.
Right. Okay, let me see. Good evening, you're on Street Talk with Father, Bonnie, and Michael.
you remember
Hello?
my names? You remember my names? Yeah.
Hello, is it my turn?
Yeah, yes it is.
Oh, great. I just had a couple of ideas or comments to make to the lady who called, I think it was 2 calls ago. She says that other towns need to contribute, and I'm just wondering, when you get your volunteers, do you only allow volunteers from New London, or are you also getting volunteers from surrounding towns? And I would think that would be some type of contribution. And number 2, she says as a Christian, she's promoting herself as a Christian, and yet at the same time, she says people should take care of their own people. We are all one people, and we need to start recognizing that fact that no matter where you are, who you are, and where you've come from, we all need to take care of each other, whether you're from Japan, from Haiti, from Libya, from Egypt. We are all one people. She promotes herself as a Christian, and then she says, our
Right.
people need to take care of our people. I'm a little confused by that from a Christian perspective, and I will hang up the phone and let you comment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I guess,
I think my sense of what she meant was from the area. She wasn't discriminating against different religions or nationalities or anything else.
No.
She was trying to say charity starts at home
Right.
and should be done first. That's what I believe the lady was
I got the impression she's trying to say every town needs to build some facilities,
But-
build housing, build social service centers to help in every city, in every town.
right.
Well, in the school,
Yeah.
because if you were from Stonington and wanted to send your child to a New London school, you would have to take your voucher of $8,000 or whatever it is, and that would go to the New London school system. It's not a free ride, and that's what that's being discussed here.
And I
It's
think-
part of the economics of the reality of what happens, and many people are saying, that New London is overburdened. We have three-fourths of the community is poverty or marginalized, okay, which is a severe burden. We have multiple programs here, from alcohol, we said SCAD.
And which is fine. I
Which
mean,
is,
it's
you know,
fine, but you can't,
But
to the
it's-
caller, I
right.
mean, I know we're all one and we all have to help each other, but that's like not building schools in your community and saying, you know what, someone's got to educate my child, so go ahead, New London, you do it. You can't run from your neighborhood or your neighbors if they have an issue. And all I think the caller was saying was, you know, you have homeless people, but you're not addressing the issue. And so why does New London have to address the issue? Well, New London is doing it, and they've been doing it for a long time, but at some point, you run out of resources to adequately get that person help. So if 10 people were getting treatment in New London, and 10 people in Waterford, and 10 in East Lyme, then it's manageable. But if 30 people are in New London getting treatment, where's the equity in that? And I think that's what the caller was saying. And as far as the volunteers, you know, we cross lines for volunteers, but that's for a benefit. That's for helping the city. So we would love to have people volunteer to open homeless shelters or facilities in other towns. I think that'd be great.
Me too. Good evening, you're on Street Talk with Father Michael and Barney. Good evening, you're on Street Talk with Father Michael and Barney.
Hello.
Hello.
Pete?
Hi, I have a question for future Mayor Mike.
Yes.
Go ahead. This phone is crazy.
Question, Mike. I was curious, with all the schools and after-school activities that are going on nowadays, and in the past also too, which you know, I'm sure a lot of the neighbors and residents in New London greatly appreciate. Do you think it's feasible, or I don't know if that's the right word to use or not, but do you think it's a good idea to have sex offenders living near schools, near parks,
Is that
especially when they're already registered?
okay? As far as sex offenders living next to schools or parks in our city, no.
No. They can't.
I thought they already couldn't.
They can't.
Once they're
It's
registered.
illegal for them to anyways. Even if they've done their time and they're a registered sex offender, they're barred from a certain distance from schools and stuff like that. And it also depends on the type of situation it is. They have to notify the neighborhood and everything. Do you know that? Hello? Well, I guess we lost them. Well, you know what, I got about 4 minutes,
Okay.
okay, and
Sure.
I want to be courteous, I gotta give you,
Oh, it's okay.
I'm not, boy, we got the
A lot
calls.
of
all right.
calls tonight.